Hello everyone. On this occasion, I will explain about our work in progress, high school student perspective on AI-based plagiarism. I'm with some of my colleagues, which can be displayed here, and then I'm from Maranatha Christian University, Indonesia. So first of all, the introduction. In the AI era, students can become more productive. However, maintaining academic integrity become more complicated. Students could easily plagiarize AI-generated solutions. Several strategies can be applied to maintain academic integrity. So, it is important to understand student perspectives about AI-based plagiarism first. So, as the contributions, this paper reports high school students' perspective on AI-based plagiarism via a questionnaire survey. The survey was developed based on another survey to measure student awareness of plagiarism. It was distributed to 122 high school students, to which 99 of them responded. The findings are expected to provide a brief overview of high school students' perspective on AI-based plagiarism. So these are the survey questions. They are adapted from another survey to measure student awareness of plagiarism. So for each question, students were expected to assess whether a particular scenario was academically acceptable for individual assessments. They could also respond with do not know if they were unfamiliar with the scenario. For all questions, a college assistant was replaced with AI assistants. So these are the details about the survey questions and how they are derived from conventional plagiarism, contract cheating, etc. And at our institutions, some of them are acceptable, whilst others are not. These might vary across institutions and because there are no general consensus about academic integrity. So the survey responses were collected in a Google form and distributed to 122 high school students who participated in a seminar in April 2024. The survey was anonymous and voluntary with 81% response rate. Each survey question was analyzed separately based on the proportion of the expected responses. Any findings and potential implications would be discussed. So this is the general finding. So many students were aware of the survey scenarios. High school students were most uncertain about key O6, which was about discussing solutions with AI. And other scenarios with high uncertainty were key O8, key O9, and key O2. Instructor expectations regarding these should be explicitly informed to the students. Next, about findings on paid plagiarism or contract cheating. So this is about key O1. It was unacceptable unless the assessment explicitly allowed the use of AI. More than half of the respondents knew the matter. AI-generated work could be perceived as one's work, and submitting that on behalf of another person could be perceived as plagiarism or contract cheating if incentives were provided. Next, about verbatim copy, disguise, and partial plagiarism. So, it was clearly unacceptable as any assistant should be acknowledged, though in some field, such as programming, for example, the acknowledgement was not really common. High school students were aware about the matter. About two-thirds of the responses considered the act unacceptable. Kyoto Act was similar to conventional plagiarism, in which works from other sources were used without acknowledgement. And about KO3, more than half of the respondents perceive the act as acceptable. They might think it is okay to copy a solution from AI if further changes were applied. While this was partly true, the changes should be more than just changing the look, or we can say shallow paraphrasing. And the next one is key O4, so it is quite similar with key O3, except that the changes were more substantial. More than half of the respondents considered the act acceptable. Although the copied solution can be expanded further, it was still AI generated. Instructors should explicitly mention the expectations regarding the matter. And the next one is about acceptable collaboration. So KO5 involved asking AI for general advice and applying the advice to one's own solution independently. So most respondents seem aware about it. When AI assistant was replaced by a college assistant in the context, the act was still acceptable. It was not plagiarism. KO6 about discussing a solution with AI while working on it. This was acceptable because the solution was still entirely developed by the students who could justify any AI-generated information. More than half of the respondents were aware about it, and the proportion of correct responses was not as high as KO5 because KO6 assistance was a bit more substantial. The next one is KO7, which is about asking for advice from AI to fix a troublesome solution. The act was acceptable by many respondents as the solution was entirely developed by the students. The action was also acceptable when AI assistant was replaced with a college assistance. The next one is key O9, adding features inspired by AI. This is clearly acceptable, and many respondents are aware about it. The next one is about key O8, asking AI to fix troublesome solution. It is unacceptable, but only a third of the respondents agreed. They might think that it is acceptable because the changes are not really substantial, but still, it needs to be acknowledged. So, as the conclusions, the study presents high school student perspective on AI-based plagiarism. They were quite aware of AI-based plagiarism, and the policies could be easily expanded from those of conventional plagiarism. Some misconceptions include asking AI to fix a troublesome solution, disguising AI-generated solutions, and expanding AI-generated solutions. Instructors need to inform students that they need to acknowledge AI assistant explicitly. Further, they can discuss their solutions with AI or use AI-inspired features. And these are our future work in general. And in case you have any questions, you can contact me. Thank you.